This is another episode of Standup Comedy, your host and MC, celebrating 40-plus years on the fringe of show business. Stories, interviews, and comedy sets from the famous and not so famous. Here's your host and MC, Scott Edwards.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a special bonus episode of Stand-Up Comedy, host and MC. And it's August, and it's travel time, it's vacation time. So I'm leaning on my expert of travel, Bob Worley. Bob is going to join us and share some travel tips about his Worley Family Vacation for 2022. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Bob Worley.
Thanks, Scott. Thanks. It's great to be here.
Well, Bob, how's it going? I hear you're about to take a family Worley vacation.
That's right, Scott. You know, a lot of us Americans enjoy a good old-fashioned road trip.
Oh, it sounds like fun.
Yep. It's fun to get out there on the open road and see this beautiful country of ours. So I'd like to go over a few travel tips for you and your viewers.
Oh, wow, that is so helpful, Bob. Travel tips for my listeners. Well, this is perfect. Let's go for it.
You know, when I hit the road, Scott, I always like to get an early start to beat the traffic out of LA, as you know, which is where I live. So what I do is I pack up the car the night before, so the next morning, all I've got to do is get up, get in the car, and hit the road.
Whoa, that sounds like a great idea, ladies and gentlemen. Tip number one, pre-pack so you can just go early in the morning, pull out of the garage, and hit the road.
Well, I don't actually have a garage, but, you know, I think it'll be safe enough in the driveway. I live in a very safe neighborhood, Scott.
Well, okay.
Okay, first things, you should always make a list of everything you're going to need for a fun and safe trip.
Well, that sounds like a good idea.
You bet it is. Number one, always have the car checked out and make sure it's in good running order. You don't want to get out on the road and break down. Nobody wants that. Heck, you know, I even bought brand new tires for this trip. Number two, make sure your car is gassed up with a full tank. Gas is important when you're driving a car.
Well, if you can afford it these days.
I can afford it. Don't worry about it, Scott. I've been planning this trip for a long time. Number three, make sure you have your mixtape or CD because you got to have your favorite jams out on the road.
Well, yeah, that's a great idea, but a little old school. I think today most people stream their music or listen to podcasts like this.
Not me, Scott. I like to keep my eyes on the road.
What?
Number four, remember to take some good old-fashioned paper road maps. You know, don't rely on that Google stuff. You can't trust them. Number five, pack a cooler full of snacks and drinks. Number six, don't forget a little medical first aid kit because you never know, Scott.
Well, these are all terrific travel tips.
They
Good
sure
idea.
Are. They're brilliant. Number seven, take a little toolkit, or in my case, some duct tape, because it's good for everything.
Oh, yeah. I remember seeing your old VW Bug. It looked like it was pretty much held together by duct tape.
Indeed it was, Scott. Inside and out. What a classic car. As a matter of fact, that is the exact car I'm taking on this trip. My 1971 Super Beetle ragtop. You know, it's good. It's going to be an old school trip for sure, man. And it gets great gas mileage. That's why I'm not worried about gas, because it's a Volkswagen. I can't wait to hit the road, man, with that top down, feeling the wind blowing through my hair.
Well, yeah, that sounds like great fun.
Well, Scott, I tell you right now, I better get packing because I want to get an early start tomorrow morning.
So where are you planning on going?
Scott, wherever the road takes me.
Well, happy motoring, Bob.
I'll call you from the road.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we just got some great tips. If you're planning a summer road trip for 2022, these tips would be very helpful to make it a safe and fun trip. Well, we want to thank our friend Bob Worley for sharing these special tips for a driving vacation. Thanks for listening. Next week, we'll have more from Bob Worley in his special summer road trip. Thanks for listening. Tune in Sunday for another great show. Bye.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Stand-Up Comedy, your host and MC. For information on the show, merchandise, and our sponsors, or to send comments to Scott, visit our website at www.standupyourhostandmc.com. Look for more episodes soon and enjoy the world of stand-up comedy. Visit a comedy showroom near you.